Hey, if you're enjoying these writing lessons and want to practice your writing, then get even more writing lessons and printable writing practice sheets inside our learning program. So sign up for a free lifetime account right now. It takes less than 30 seconds. Just click the link in the description to sign up and start learning in seconds. Hi, welcome to Introduction to Spanish. My name is Alicia, and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Leah.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Spanish writing. Just like English, Spanish uses Roman letters in its writing.
Unlike English, the Spanish alphabet has one additional letter called ñ, which appears after the letter N and before the letter O.
This letter looks like a regular N, but with a tilde on top. It sounds like a combination between an N and a Y sound, like in the word canyon.
Ñ, español, niño, mañana.
Other than this one extra letter, the Spanish alphabet is essentially written the same as the English alphabet. For the most part, punctuation in Spanish is similar to English. A period marks the end of a sentence, and a comma indicates a pause. Exclamation and question marks, however, are a different story. In English, we place an exclamation mark at the end of a sentence to denote that it's exclamatory. We do the same thing for question marks to denote that the sentence is a question.
In Spanish, however, exclamation marks and question marks must be placed at the end and at the beginning of the exclamatory phrase or question. Hola. Hola? The inverted marks must be placed whenever a new exclamatory or question phrase is formed, even if it is within the same sentence. Hola y buenas noches.
Notice how this only applies to the phrase and not to the entire sentence itself.
Juan, ¿a dónde vas?
On the other hand, the ending marks still go at the end of the sentence, regardless of whether the words are part of the question or not.
¿A dónde vas, Juan?
To indicate a sentence that is both a question and an exclamation, use both marks. Ensure that you're being consistent with which marks go on the inside and which go on the outside.
¿Y tú quién te crees que eres? ¿Y tú quién te crees que eres?
Compared to English, Spanish doesn't capitalize as many words as English does.
Let's go over a few cases where English capitalizes words when Spanish does not.
The days of the week and the months of the year are not capitalized in Spanish. For example,
Hoy es jueves 23 de octubre.
seasons of the year are also not capitalized.
El invierno se acerca.
Personal titles are not capitalized unless they are abbreviations.
Señor, señorita, doctor.
Titles, such as those of a movie or book, capitalize the first word only. Every other word in the title is written in lowercase.
Harry Potter y la piedra filosofal.
Names of countries and cities are capitalized, but names of languages are not.
Reino Unido. Estados Unidos. Hablo inglés.
Finally, we come to the Spanish accent mark. Spanish uses a mark called the acute accent. It looks like a diagonal line which starts from the bottom left and rises towards the upper right.
This accent mark appears above the letter. More specifically, accents will only appear over the 5 vowels in Spanish.
The Spanish accent is used to indicate that the syllable which has the accent must be stressed. So always stress the syllable which has the accent.
Médico. Compró.
Some words are spelled the same and sound the same, but have different meanings in Spanish.
Él. El.
In these situations, the accent is used to differentiate the two words, so it's clear exactly which word we're referring to.
Más. Más.
Okay, so we've covered the main accent mark in Spanish, but what about these ones?
Don't be fooled by the first example. Even though it might look like an accent, it's just the letter ñ in Spanish.
The second example is an accent marker, and it's used to indicate that the U should be pronounced. This is because the letter U is usually silent when it comes after the letter G. Consider the following examples.
Guerra. Guerrilla. Vergüenza. Pingüino.
Notice how the U is silent in the first two examples,
Guerra. Guerrilla.
but pronounced in the last two.
Vergüenza. Pingüino.
Keep in mind, though, that this accent only occurs in a few words that have the letters G and U together. In this lesson, you learned that Spanish uses Roman letters like English, with one additional letter. Exclamation and question marks appear inverted at the beginning of the phrase and upright at the end of the sentence. Days, months, and seasons aren't capitalized in Spanish, and the acute accent is used in Spanish mainly to indicate stress. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this series, you'll master Spanish pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in Spanish, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson, you'll learn about the building blocks of the Spanish pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The letters used in Spanish are the same as the letters you use in English, with the exception of one other letter, and these letters, with accents over them. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of Spanish, and here they are. There are 27 consonant sounds and 5 vowel sounds. Each symbol that you see here represents a single sound determined by the IPA, which is a standardized way to represent sounds without the accompanying baggage that's often involved with traditional letters. By using these 32 sounds, you can form every single word in Spanish. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 27 consonant sounds in Spanish, you already know 18 of them. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. We'll cover familiar sounds in lessons 4 and 5. You can also ignore 2 of the vowel sounds for the same reason. The only things standing between you and perfect Spanish pronunciation are 9 new consonant and 3 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Alex, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Hola, soy Alex.
Alex will be giving you native pronunciation examples for you to imitate. But for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of Spanish.
Obtuso, trigo, pollo, cañón, rumbo, bravo, tláhuac, quetzal, ayuno, rata, vehemente, boscoso.
In the next lesson, we'll look at the top 5 pronunciation mistakes Spanish learners make. You'll want to make sure not to fall into these common traps. After that, we'll begin going through the vowels and consonants of Spanish. This is your chance to learn how to correctly say all of the words you just heard. We'll finish up the series by covering some special topics that will really make your Spanish sound natural. To close this lesson, here's a question for you. Why is it important to spend time on learning proper pronunciation, even if you're already an advanced speaker? The answer, you will be understood, and this will help you build more confidence as you communicate in Spanish. For beginners, you're creating a strong foundation to build on. And for more advanced students, this is your chance to improve your accent and lose any bad habits you may have picked up. What is the hardest part of Spanish pronunciation? Tell us about it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 Spanish pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that students of Spanish tend to make, so pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Pronouncing the letter H. The letter H is silent in Spanish. Most people learning Spanish try to pronounce it when in fact it should be silent. English speakers in particular are used to pronouncing it in their own language, so they try to do so in Spanish as well. But don't make this same mistake. Take hello, for example.
Hola,
Notice that Alex does not pronounce the H sound.
hola,
Let's move on to number 2.
ñe,
Many Spanish learners tend to pronounce this consonant incorrectly. Listen to Alex pronounce this consonant in a few words.
niño, niña, baño.
This letter can be difficult for students of Spanish to pronounce, mostly because they don't have this sound in their language. One trick to pronouncing this sound is by saying the word onion or canyon. It kind of sounds like a combination between an N and a Y sound, doesn't it? But don't worry about much of the specifics for now, as we'll break down this consonant in lesson 7. Number 3. Mispronouncing the letter J. The letter J sounds a bit like an H sound in English. This is confusing for many speakers, particularly if their language also uses the Roman letters H and J. But not only this, because if you listen very carefully, it's not the same sound as the H in the English word how, for example. Listen to Alex again. It's pronounced further back, close to the throat. In fact, you should feel a little tickle in the back of the throat. This sound is also pronounced with a bit more force. Listen to Alex pronounce this letter in a few words.
Jamón, eje, reloj.
Number 4. Pronouncing Spanish vowels. When pronouncing vowels in Spanish, many speakers tend to stretch out the vowels for too long. Spanish vowels should be pronounced short and simple. Listen to Alex.
A, E, I, O, U.
Now listen to Alex pronounce these vowels in a few words. Pay close attention to the duration of the vowel in each word.
Amigo, enero, ir, oro, uva.
And finally, number 5. Mispronouncing the double L sound.
Y.
Double L's are not pronounced the same as the English L sound. Many Spanish learners tend to pronounce it as such or try to extend the sound to compensate. However, the actual sound is quite different. Listen to it again.
Y.
It sounds like a combination of an L and a Y sound. Now, let's listen to how Alex pronounces this sound in a few words.
Llamar, llave, pollo.
We'll break down this sound in Lesson 6. Now you know the top 5 Spanish pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't make these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning vowel sounds in Spanish. What's your biggest challenge with Spanish pronunciation? Is it one of these top 5 mistakes? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn all 5 Spanish vowel sounds.
A, E, I, O, U.
With these sounds, you can pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in Spanish. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first vowel is
A, rata, rana, azahar.
This is similar to the A sound in the word spa, but there is one subtle difference. Try to relieve the pressure from the back of the throat a little.
A, 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 A.
The next vowel is
E, bebé, escalón, vehemente.
This is similar to the E sound in the word let.
E, 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 E.
The next vowel is
I, dimitir, mío, tipo.
It's identical to the double E sound in the word see.
I, I. I, I.
The next vowel is
O, boscoso, oso, todo.
This is similar to the O sound in the word boring.
O, O. O, O.
And the last vowel is
U, dúo, cucurucho, curable.
It's identical to the double O sound in the word boot.
U, U. U, U.
Did you notice how in all of the examples, Alex said the vowels short and simply? This is how you should do it too. Many Spanish learners tend to stretch out the vowel sounds longer than needed. Try not to do this. Now let's move on to the next topic. A diphthong refers to two vowel sounds that are pronounced within the same syllable. You can kind of think of it like gliding from one vowel to the next very quickly. English has diphthongs as well. Take the word loin, for example. It's not pronounced lo-in, but loin. Notice how the O transitions into the I very quickly. It's almost like you're trying to merge the two sounds. Loin. Notice the difference? Okay, now let's listen to a few examples in Spanish.
Gracias, gracias. Hierba, hierba. Agua, agua. Encuentro, encuentro. Causa, causa. Neutro, neutro. Aire, aire. Trapezoide, trapezoide.
Okay, I think you got the hang of it. Most vowel sound pairings are diphthongs in Spanish. However, sometimes they're pronounced individually. Listen to the following examples.
Tía, país, mío, río.
Words that are pronounced separately are marked with a rising accent from left to right. We'll cover more about accentuation in Lesson 8, but that's all for vowels. Well done! You've just learned all 5 vowel sounds in Spanish. With these sounds, you can properly pronounce any vowel that could possibly appear in the Spanish language. Isn't that great? In the next lesson, you'll start learning consonant sounds. Which diphthong is the most difficult to pronounce for you? Let us know in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 10 Spanish consonant sounds.
P, ch, d, g, k, l, m, n.
These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so if you know English, they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
B, bestia.
like the B in the word buy.
B, b. B, b.
The next consonant is
Ch, chubasco.
like the ch sound in the word match.
Ch, 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 ch.
The next consonant is
D, dedo.
like the D in the word dad.
D, d. D, d.
The next consonant is
Fase.
like the F in the word find. The next consonant is
G, gato.
like the G in the word goggle.
G, g. G, g.
The next consonant is
Kilo.
like the K in the word kite. The next consonant is
L, lino.
like the L in the word like.
L, l. L, L.
The next consonant is
Mano.
like the M in the word man.
Mm.
The next consonant is
Nido.
like the N in the word nice.
Mm.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Domingo.
like the ng sound in the word sing.
Mm. 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 Mm.
Well done! You just learned your first 10 Spanish consonants.
P. Ch. D. G. K. L. Mm.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 8 more consonant sounds that are identical to the ones in English. Was seeing the pronunciation illustrations helpful? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 8 Spanish consonant sounds.
P. S. T. V. H. W. Y. Z.
These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so if you know English, they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
P. Pozo.
like the P in the word past.
P. 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 P.
The next consonant is
S. Saco.
like the S in the word see.
S. 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 S.
The next consonant is
T. Tamiz.
like the T in the word take.
T. 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 T.
The next consonant is
D. Arder.
like the th sound in the word that.
D. 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 D.
The next consonant is
México.
like the ch sound in the word yech or Loch Ness. The next consonant is
W. Cuadro.
like the W in the word win.
W. 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 W.
The next consonant is
Y. Yo-yo.
like the Y in the word you.
Y. Y. y, y,
The final consonant for this lesson is
z, mismo,
like the Z in the word zebra.
z, 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 z,
Well done! You just learned another 8 Spanish consonants.
p, s, t, v, h, w, y, z.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 3 new consonant sounds. These sounds don't appear in English, so they'll be trickier than the last group. Were there more familiar sounds than you expected? Let us know if you have questions in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 4 Spanish consonant sounds.
V, g, y, ny.
These consonant sounds do not appear in English, so they'll likely be new to you. Be sure to practice them because these are unique sounds which learners often get wrong. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
V, lava, bebé, verbo.
This consonant sounds like a combination between a V and a B sound. Try to think of it as producing a regular V sound, but instead of using your upper teeth, try to use your upper lip. The upper lip should lightly contact the bottom lip as to still allow air to pass through it. It sounds like a buzzing noise. Listen to the example.
V, 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 v.
The next consonant is
G, signo, amigo, goma.
This consonant sounds like a continuous G sound. One trick to pronounce this sound is to pretend that you're saying a G, but instead of making full contact and releasing the air in a single burst, try to lightly contact the back part of your mouth with the back part of your tongue, and then allow air to seep through the small opening. It should almost sound as if you were gargling.
G, 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 g.
The next consonant is
Y, llave, pollo, llanta.
You can sometimes produce this sound by saying the English word million. Try it. It sounds a bit like you're saying an L and a Y at the same time. Try to think of it as pronouncing a regular English L, but instead of using the tip of your tongue, try to use the blade or the middle part of your tongue.
Y, 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 y.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Ñ, ñandú, niño, año.
Raise your tongue so that the middle or blade of the tongue touches the roof of your mouth. It kind of sounds like a combination between the N and Y sounds in the English word canyon. Here's a great tip. Try to think of it as pronouncing a regular English N sound, but instead of using the tip of your tongue, try to use the blade, the part behind it. Let's take a closer look.
Ñ, ñ. Ñ, ñ.
Well done! You just learned another 4 Spanish consonants.
V, g, y, ñ.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 5 new consonant sounds. These sounds don't appear in English, so they'll be trickier than the last group. How difficult were they to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 5 Spanish consonant sounds.
R, R, T, Y.
These consonant sounds do not appear in English, so they'll likely be new to you. Be sure to practice them because these are unique sounds which learners often get wrong. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
R, rumbo, perro, carro.
This is also known as a rolled R, or rolling your R's. The proper term for this is a trill. Using the tip of your tongue, lightly contact the gums that are directly behind your top teeth and try to direct just enough air through it so that the opening opens and closes rapidly. You should generally feel the pressure build up and release continuously between your gums and your tongue. This sound is voiced, so you should feel vibrations coming from your throat when pronouncing this consonant.
R, R. R, R,
The next consonant is
R, bravo, caro, serio.
This consonant sounds like a combination between a D sound and an R sound. English speakers can sometimes pronounce this sound when saying the word better or butter, usually quickly and lazily. The key here is to strike your tongue quickly.
R, 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 R.
The next consonant is
Tl, tlapalería, xochitl, tláhuac.
This consonant sounds like a combination between a T sound and an L sound. Using the tip of your tongue, begin by pronouncing a T sound, and at the moment of release, very quickly transition to an L sound. The trick is to do it very quickly, as to blend the two sounds into one.
Tl, 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 tl.
The next consonant is
Ts, ertzaintza, quetzal, pizza.
This consonant sound is like a combination of a T and an S sound. It starts off as a T sound, but ends with an S sound. Here's a great tip. You can produce this sound by saying the word cats. So one trick is to bounce off of the ending when trying to pronounce this consonant sound.
Ts, 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 ts.
The final consonant for this lesson is
You, ayuno, sayo, mayo.
This consonant sounds similar to a Y sound, except the passage is even more constricted. Try to narrow the channel of air between your tongue and the roof of your mouth until you create turbulence. It should create a kind of buzzing noise. Listen to Alex pronounce this sound.
You, 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 you.
Well done! You just learned 5 new Spanish consonants.
R, R, T, Y.
You now know all of the sounds that could possibly be pronounced in Spanish. In the next lesson, you'll learn about diphthongs. Which of these Spanish consonant sounds is the most challenging to pronounce for you? Share it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about stress and accentuation in Spanish. Let's cover stress first because it'll help us better understand accentuation later. Like English, Spanish places stress on specific syllables in a word. There are generally 2 main rules that govern where the stress is placed in Spanish. The first rule applies to words that end in a vowel, end with the letter N, or end with the letter S. For these types of words, the stress is placed on the second to last syllable of the word. Listen to Alex pronounce a few words that contain one of these features.
Nada, origen, zapatos.
Most Spanish words tend to fall into this category, so it's quite likely that it's the second to last syllable that'll need to be stressed. The second rule applies to words that end in a consonant, not including the letter N or the letter S. For these types of words, the stress is placed on the last syllable of the word. For example,
Doctor, ciudad, comer.
quite simple, isn't it? Let's have a quick test to see if you've grasped the material. Where should the stress be placed in the following words?
Niñas, nadador, computadora.
Most Spanish words will obey either one of these two rules, so it's best that you memorize them. Okay, now let's move on. Enter the Spanish accent. Spanish uses the acute accent, which looks like this. The acute accent is used to indicate that the syllable must be stressed, regardless of the two previous stress rules. So the rule is to always stress the syllable which contains this accent. Let's take a look at a few examples.
Compró, compró.
As you can see, this word ends with a vowel. Normally, you would stress the second to last syllable. However, there's an accent over the letter O, indicating that it must be stressed. Therefore, we must stress the last syllable instead. Let's take a look at another one.
Médico, médico.
Notice how the first syllable is stressed? That's precisely because of the accent marker. What about this word?
El,
Or this one?
el.
They both sound exactly the same, right? That's because single-syllable words are already naturally stressed, and you cannot add more stress to a syllable simply by applying an accent marker over one of the vowels. So, if the pronunciation remains the same, then what's the purpose of the accent marker? It's to differentiate words that would otherwise be spelled the same but have different meanings. So, while it doesn't impact how single-syllable words are pronounced, it helps to lift the ambiguity between words that would otherwise be identical. And finally, this accent has one remaining function that we've yet to discuss. Do you remember diphthongs? The merging of two vowel sounds when they're next to each other? Well, whenever this accent appears over the letters I or U in a vowel group, it prevents them from being a diphthong, meaning you must pronounce them separately. For example,
Tía, país, mío, río.
well, that's all for stress and accents. In this lesson, you learned about stress and accentuation in Spanish. In the next lesson, you'll learn about metaplasm in Spanish. Do you have accents in your language? Share it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about metaplasms. In Spanish, words are connected together when the final syllable of a word is identical or very similar to the beginning syllable of the following word. You can kind of think of it as making two or more words into one big word. This linking of words is what gives Spanish its alluring fluidity. There are two types of connections you can make in Spanish, between vowels and between identical consonants. First, let's deal with connecting words that end and begin with vowel sounds.
Quiere, entrar. Ella quiere entrar. Decía. Ambos. Martín se lo decía a ambos empleados.
As you can see, identical vowels will connect with each other. When they connect, they combine to become one syllable and the vowel sound is prolonged accordingly.
Martín se lo decía a ambos empleados.
How about this one?
Va a hacer. Va a hacer.
All three words are linked in this phrase because remember, the H is silent in Spanish. Let's look at a few other examples showing unidentical vowels connecting with each other.
Me inclino. Me inclino. Como. Como una.
As you can see, the nature of linking words together between vowels is both rhythmic and fluid.
Volvió a Europa. Silvana volvió a Europa.
Now that we've looked at connecting words together between vowels, let's take a look at connecting consonants together.
Dicen. Nada. Dicen nada.
As you can clearly see, consonants can also be combined in Spanish. How about this one?
Es fácil leer revistas simplonas.
Unlike vowels, however, consonants can only link if the sound is completely identical. That's why the S and F are not connected in this example. Listen to Alex again.
Es fácil leer revistas simplonas.
That's all for linking words together in Spanish. In this lesson, you learned how to speak fluidly by connecting words together in Spanish. In the next lesson, you'll learn about accent reduction. Can you think of another metaplasm example? Share it with us in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. You've made it to the last lesson. Do you feel more confident about speaking in Spanish now? In this last lesson, we'll wrap things up by teaching you proper rhythm when speaking Spanish. Make sure to practice out loud with this lesson. You know all the parts and pieces, but can you speak Spanish with a natural accent? If you've been quiet up until now, be sure to speak out loud with Alex's examples. Are you ready? Let's go. You probably knew this phrase before you started this series, but did you know how to pronounce it correctly? Give it a shot.
Discúlpeme. Discúlpeme.
Remember the rules about Spanish accents? You must always stress the syllable which has the accent marker. Try one more time after Alex.
Discúlpeme. Discúlpeme.
What about this useful phrase?
No entiendo. No entiendo.
Remember, words that don't have any accents or end in a vowel generally have the stress placed on the second to last syllable. Try once more.
No entiendo. No entiendo.
Okay, let's move on to connecting words. How would you pronounce this sentence?
Ella va a entrar a su casa. Ella va a entrar a su casa.
A word that ends in a vowel can be connected to the following word if it starts with a vowel. Try once more.
Ella va a entrar a su casa. Ella va a entrar a su casa.
Okay, one last sentence.
Carlos sabe que ella tiene hambre. Carlos sabe que ella tiene hambre.
Remember, you can also connect words that end and begin with an identical consonant. Try once more.
Carlos sabe que ella tiene hambre. Carlos sabe que ella tiene hambre.
How did it go? Do you feel like you have a better accent than you did at the beginning of this series? What parts of Spanish pronunciation are still difficult for you? Good luck as you continue learning Spanish. Bye!
Hi everybody, Rosa here. Welcome to As a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Spanish questions. The question for this lesson is: how can I decide if I have to write B or V in Spanish? In Spanish, the letter B and the letter V have the same sound, but they are written differently. So, how do you know which one to use? Despite some exceptions, there are some rules that can help you to pick which letter to use. Let's start with B. The words that usually use B can be divided in 4 groups. First, all the words that begin with bu, bien or bene, and B. For example, butaca, meaning armchair, bienestar, meaning wellness, and bisonte, bison. Second, all the words that end in bilidad, bundo or bunda. For example, amabilidad, kindness, moribundo, moribund, and nauseabunda, nauseating. Third, all the verbs whose infinitive forms end with ver, bir, and buir. For example, beber, to drink, saber, to know, and escribir, to write. Fourth and last, all of the past imperfect verbs whose first conjugation ends in aba. For example, compraba, I was buying, or cantaba, I was singing. Now let's see the rules for V. The words that usually use V can be divided in 4 groups. First, all the words that begin with v, div, ev. For example, vivir, to live, divertido, funny, and evento, event. Second, all the forms in present indicative, imperative, and subjunctive of the verb ir, to go. For example, voy, I go, or ve, you go, in the imperative. Third, all the adjectives that end in ave, avo, evo, and ivo. For example, suave, soft, and decisivo, decisive. Fourth and last, after be, di, en, or all. For example, obviar, to obviate, advertir, to warn, enviar, to send, olvidar, to forget. And that's it. But as you might already know, Spanish always has tricky exceptions, but don't worry, you'll get used to them in no time. How was this lesson? Pretty interesting, right? Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Hasta pronto, see you soon!
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.